No mai, haere mai. Welcome, everyone. Kia ora koutou katoa. Great to see you all today, and thank you for joining this second to last session for 2024, second to last session of the Adult and Community Education Adult Teaching modules. And the session is Unleashing Effective Learning. So we're going to talk about some strategies and secrets and success stories. So today, this session is aligned to the ACE teaching standards. So they are the standards that help guide me and help guide anyone working in the adult and community education sector about how to be a better tutor. And today's one is under the title of Practice and in the area of implementing the best learning program. And in particular, we're looking at the indicator of using teaching to connect content knowledge with effective ways of learning. So that will be the focus today, effective ways of learning. And I've chosen this whakatauki this morning because a lot of what I've read about effectiveness of teaching and therefore learning is around well-being and looking after ourselves. And many of you will know the expression, you can't pour from an empty jug. And I think this says it better, whaia te mātauranga he oranga mō kōtou, seek after learning for the sake of your well-being. So it's about the importance, therefore, of learning, which is key to our well-being. But and it's great that many of you are seeking out some more learning today for your own well-being. So this is what we'll look at today. Our kaupapa will be looking at some ideas around effective teaching. And today I've got a video from ACE Aotearoa to show you, for you to think about why do you do what you do. So thinking again about what is it that drives you to be the educator you are, wherever you are in the country, and why do you like to continue learning too? Then we'll also do a little bit about your secret teaching power, and of course drawing on your experience all of the time. And then at the end, some short time for reflection. And that's the opportunity to think, so what? What is it that you've been reminded about today? What is it that you'll follow up with after today's session? What makes your teaching effective? So there's lots of materials, lots of ideas, lots of research about effectiveness of teaching. Today I've just chosen 8, and they are on this slide here. So these are the 8 today that I'd like you shortly to choose which ones for you is the top 2. So according to some research on effective teaching, these are in order here of what makes it effective. And the first one is around keep your lessons relevant. Second one is on focusing on the learner and their life experience. Maybe that one should be first. The same. Number 3 is tell stories as you're teaching. People love to hear stories of people's experience, and people often love to learn better when they hear stories from their educator. Number 4 is about breakup, or what I often talk to is about chunks. So breaking up information to avoid that overload. People don't like to be too overloaded. So the more variety, the more ways you can break up your teaching into chunks and use different approaches, different techniques, the more likely it is your teaching is going to be as effective as possible. Number 5, and I've spoken to this in a previous session, in fact, many of these I have, but this one was around providing feedback in the moment. It's not about feedback 2 weeks later. It's in the moment. That's the best thing you can do to be as effective in your teaching. Number 6, whether you're a visual learner or an auditory or a read writer or a kinesthetic learner, visual learners are quite a high proportion of learners. And so in the ways, if you can make your material as visually appealing as possible, the more likely it is to be effective. And we have lots of tools these days that can assist us with making it visually appealing, so we don't have to spend too much time in design school ourselves or design skills ourselves. Number 7, again, encourage. That's a whole idea of questions and discussion, and adult learners love that and find that they respond. I often find people respond really well, but they need to be warmed up to questions and discussion. And then most importantly, number 8 is being flexible. We just never know what's going on in our adult learners' lives. And so the more likely we are to model flexibility, the better we can be as an effective teacher, effective educator. So this time, I'm just going to invite you to think about this. Why do you do what you do? So next, I'm going to show you a video clip, and it's only 3 minutes long, but after that, I'm going to ask Viv to give you an opportunity to meet in breakout rooms and to talk about why you do what you do. So it's a chance to think about, in many ways, your drive, your personal why, but also to connect to what is it that keeps you going, keeps you, making resources late at night, or keeps you attending professional development, and importantly, keeps you showing up for your learners. So this is the question I'll ask, and we'll just watch the video now, and then we'll come back to breakout rooms. Thank you, Viv.
Hi, I'm Anne Cave and I'm the Director of the Adult Community Education Program at Selwyn College. And today we are hosting an event that has been very kindly supported by ACE Aotearoa. So people often ask me why I do my job, and it's because it is such a privilege to be able to offer people the things that we offer. To see people coming in, they might be wondering what the hell they're doing, coming to do a course, and they walk out with a completely different feeling about life, about themselves, about their well-being. So this is why I love the job that I do.
My name is Melanie and I am actually from the South Island. So when I first moved to Auckland, it was kind of hard to meet new people, and going to these sort of classes was an amazing way to just meet people and just take a bit of a chill out. You're not trying to solve all the problems, you're not trying to satisfy other people's needs or desires, you're just being you.
Kia ora, I'm Kat. I'm a creative arts therapist. I have been invited today to speak on behalf of Selwyn Community Education about the benefits of art and mental well-being. The team here at Selwyn are doing an amazing job of creating community and connection between people. They bring people together from multiple diverse backgrounds for groups in community education, using the arts and other areas.
Hi, I'm Karen. I'm a pattern maker by trade, and I have worked in the fashion industry for about the last 30 years. I find the value in teaching people how to sew and pattern make, yeah. I love my classes here, yeah. Love teaching people to sew.
Hi, my name is Jie Hua. I work in Auckland Libraries and Takapuna Library. What I'm teaching here is the book of art. While I work in the libraries, and I came across lots of old books, they just supposed to be thrown away. And I thought they're such a nice books, and we need to do something. So that's how I started the book folding art.
I think Viv is going to divide you now anyway into breakout rooms. So if you would go into your breakout rooms and talk about why you do what you do. You heard about why Anne and her other tutors do what she does. And thank you. Thanks so much, Viv, for enabling people to join the breakout rooms. Great. And welcome back. And please, if were there any questions from anyone after you'd shared their why you do what you do, anything that anyone wanted to share, or anyone wanted to, I said questions, but also was there anything you wanted to share with the rest of the group?
Yeah, I really enjoyed hearing, I think it was Ruby was talking about the fact of the joy of being able to give people a second chance, perhaps particularly in that literacy and sort of space where people maybe had missed out. And also Ruth referred to being able to understand where people, you know, having had that experience, being able to sort of go back and put yourself in these shoes. And I thought that was really powerful, but the second chance part was amazing.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. And they are your success stories. And we don't often talk about success stories. We don't often talk about our secret powers, if you like, of success. And that's something that I just encourage you to have a second time to talk together in breakout rooms shortly. So this session is around effectiveness of your teaching and effectiveness for learning. And one of the titles we've talked about your secrets. And I've looked at this and thought, what are your secret strategies for teaching success? One of the sites that I found some information on, I really enjoyed because it was boiled down to 3 simple things. And for me, this really connected strongly to ACE teaching standards of which I'll talk about shortly. But the first one is focus on relationships. So that's our Te Reo Māori, our whanaungatanga, thinking about connecting people and ensuring that they are making and creating relationships and get to know people. The second one is around prioritising self-care, and I think the graphic on the left there of the screen really shows and to me demonstrates how important it is that we look after ourselves so we can continue to provide and do what we need to do with the people that we're working with. So that's important around manaakitanga of others and manaakitanga of ourselves. So that's again one of the key teaching standard values. And the last one there is embrace your authenticity. And for me, that connected to rangatiratanga, so around the whole learner autonomy. If we're autonomous and authentic, then we encourage our learners to be autonomous and authentic. So these were 3 key secret strategies for me around teaching success. And I thought, you know, to walk the talk, I'd also talk to you about some stories, a story rather, since it's obviously such an effective way of teaching, and talk to you a little bit about my secret teaching power. And I've never really thought about it as a secret teaching power, but in preparing for this, I realized there are a few things that I do that aren't secret, maybe, to others, but they're important to me. And in a way, they give me a secret power whenever I'm teaching. And I've just put a few graphics up there to remind me of what those are. And I'll just talk about these very briefly and then give you a chance to talk about, so what's your secret teaching power? In other words, what is it that you do and it actually works and you think, oh, I'm going to do that again, or that makes me feel good when I teach and I can see that learners like it. So that's what I'll be inviting you to share, a secret teaching power. So the first of mine there is the use of music. And I like to use music a lot when I'm taking workshops, when I'm teaching. I like to use it, particularly when people come into a cold room. Cold as in they don't know anyone, hopefully not cold, because hopefully the heaters are on or it's a warm environment and warm space. But cold to them as if they've never been there before. So I've found over years that music does help, and people have commented on the music that I play. I try to play music that's appealing to everyone of different ages, as opposed to maybe my top hits. But I find it does 2 things. It always, for me, helps me because it calms me, because regardless of how many years I've been doing this, I always still get apprehensive and nervous about how the teacher's going to go. So there is a calming effect for me in familiar tunes. But importantly, I feel like it's a secret teaching power that people like to have background music and will talk more when there's something else going on in the room. And I don't use it all the time during the session, but I will at times when people are working together and don't need to concentrate. There's a bit of debate about whether music with lyrics is appropriate when people are needing to concentrate, and people talk about the use of Baroque style music, early music, rather than modern music, if you like. So that's one of my secret teaching powers. The other one is connection over perfection. I found this on the Rainbow site and I thought, oh yeah, I really like that. It's about not trying to let it go that things aren't perfect, but trying importantly to ensure that the connection is the key reason that people are there and feel okay. So even though things aren't perfect and I can worry about that, actually, if I try and make a solid, meaningful, authentic connection with my learners, then the session will be okay. So it's trying to let some things go, but importantly, prioritize others. The third one there is around the use of names. And I'm sorry today, I'm not really talk here, am I? Because due to some technical glitch, I can't see you, so I'm not able to use your names as I'd like to always. But I really try hard to make sure I am using people's names and use them correctly. Of course, I'm only human and will make mistakes, as many people know, especially Ty, who teaches often with me. But I do really try to get the pronunciation correct, and B, try to use their name at least once in a teaching session. So, I mean, I know these aren't huge, big time things, and you all do these things in your own way. But when I had to stop and think about it, I thought, actually, that's what I like. This is what I always do. I always have music. I always use names. I always help and try to make people connect. And the last one there, it's a funny little graphic, but it's the best I could do to sort of illustrate continuums. So this graphic there reminds me that one of my teaching powers is to use continuums. Now, I like those because you don't need any materials, and I like them because it gets people active in their learning. And that's a reminder to me about interactivity. People really love that. So it's important to include that to be as effective as possible. But continuums, I think, are great because there's no right or wrong answer. It's just a degree of yes or no, true or false, high or low, experience and inexperience, that kind of thing. So it's people make a decision and stand on an invisible line about how they feel about something. Do they feel it's important to them? Not important. So it's two different ends of a spectrum. So in a nutshell, that's 4 of my secret teaching powers. And I thought that I'd start the ball rolling with a little story from me and now encourage you to share what your secret teaching power are. And I've also put in there what has been your biggest success in your teaching, because feel free to talk about those successful moments when you didn't think it was going to work and then it did work because of what you did. So it's a chance to celebrate you, it's a chance to share, and importantly, it's a chance to actually reflect and think about things aren't always bad, like sometimes we feel they are. There are things that go well, perhaps I'm being a bit negative about that, but it's like often there are really cool things that happen in our teaching, and we don't often get a chance to share that because A, we're so busy, or B, we perhaps don't have colleagues who are available or interested. I don't know what it is, but sometimes we don't reflect and think, wow, that one thing I did has helped that group learn or has helped that learner learn. So here's your chance. Here's your chance now to go back into your breakout rooms and share what's your secret teaching power and something about your success. Thanks, everyone. Who would like to share? Again, I'm sorry I didn't ask you to prepare to share, but is there anyone who'd like to share about some cool secret teaching powers they heard about? Or you want to share yourself. You suddenly thought, gosh, that's a secret teaching power I've never thought about. I actually have. Some people have these cool, is it Tahia? Many of you will go to Tahia's Te Reo sessions, and she's got a really cool secret teaching power of singing. She sings and people listen. And there'll be lots of you who have those teaching powers. Anyone like to share what you have?
I can share from the group, not only from me.
Yeah.
We come from group 4. So
Thanks, Judith.
Yeah, primarily. So what I shared is that one of my secrets is having sense of humor.
Yes, love it. Yeah.
Just laughing at myself firstly, and then they will all laugh. And so the session is a laughing session.
Right. Nice.
But it comes from being natural.
Yeah.
If I may include others, so we also said that, you know, you have to treat learners as adults and be authentic. You have to listen to the voice of the learners, communicate well, be good with their names, and you know, so there is always a consistency.
Yes.
And I think someone quoted an adult way or of saying it: "A sage on the stage, guide on the side." So
Nice.
something like
Nice.
that. I
Yeah.
think it was Marg. Was it Marg? And anyone from Group 4 may share more. Thank you.
Thank you, Judith.
Yeah,
I
you're
like
welcome.
that. Yes, and yes, that's saying not to be the sage on the stage. It's an old saying, but to be more the guide on the side. I like that. But thank you. Some lovely ideas there about your secret teaching power. Thanks, Judith. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share that they heard and they think that's a great secret teaching power?
I like to empower the students, go and sit at the back of the classroom and let them write stuff up on the whiteboard. And you see a great lot of interaction happens within the students, and they feel better about themselves. Even if they get it wrong, it still seems to work.
Yeah. I love that, Marie. Thank you. It is about doing that, isn't it? Empowering them. And as you say, if they get it wrong, it works. It's the great secret teaching power. And that's what's cool about being able sometimes to watch others teach and learn from them. Thanks for those of you who've shared. I really like those. And hopefully it's been an opportunity for you to think about, you know, what is it that you do that works so well. Let's move on for the rest of our session. What I wanted to talk about here were the ACE teaching standards, because in preparing for this, I realised that actually the ACE teaching standards helped me to feel as effective as possible and help me as far as my secret teaching powers are concerned. So for those of you who don't know about them, and I've put earlier on today at the start in the chat, I put the link to them on the ACE Aotearoa website. But there you can see that what they are. So they are there are the standards for everyone who wants to be and is keen on being the best tutor ever. So it gives us an opportunity to look at the expectations there that we have, that a learner has, and also gives us assurance that we're providing quality, but also it means that there's consistency across the sector for all learners, because if we follow those ACE teaching standards, we can be assured that we are doing the best that we can as far as our teaching is concerned. So these are always important for me to be as effective as possible, as I said, and to help me to be successful when I'm teaching learners. Here's a visual of the key components of the ACE teaching standards, and I'm aware many of you will have seen these before, but these help remind me to how to be as effective as possible, and hopefully it means that I am as successful as possible. If I do what it says in the middle, meet learners' needs, if I work with the 17 indicators under commitment, under knowledge, under practice, and that's what this series has been based on. And if I work with the 3 important values underpinned by the values of Ako, sometimes teacher, sometimes learner, it's around manaakitanga, so encouraging a really respectful environment, rangatiratanga, encouraging learner autonomy, and whanaungatanga, encouraging relationships. So that for me is really key around effectiveness and success. So we come to a chance now for any questions, and also a chance to think, what is it that you'll take away and work on or celebrate from today's session? Hopefully it'll be around celebration, because I've encouraged you to think about your effectiveness as an educator and what makes the learning effective for your learners, but also what are your secret powers that you have and what are your success stories. If there was one thing that you might do to focus on or to reaffirm in your effectiveness as an educator, as a tutor, as a kaiako, what would that one thing be? We heard some lovely comments about people and their success, about how they treat adults, how they like to, how they laugh at themselves, how that works, how they focus on the voice of the learners, how they're their authentic self, and how they empower learners. So maybe one of those has been a reminder to you to think about what you might do going forward. So thank you. I really loved hearing your reflections today. I really appreciate that you've all contributed to those as well. I want to close with this whakatauki. Remember, one of the effectiveness issue, the focus that I talked about being effective as an educator was looking after yourself. And I really like this whakatauki. Te ake koe I a koe anō. Take care of yourself and connect with others. And that